Continuing with the trend of guest-starring legendary rangers, this episode is titled Spirit of the Tiger with returning Jungle Fury Red Ranger Casey. This creates somewhat of a problem for me, since while I do have a great deal of Power Rangers knowledge, I haven't actually watched all of Jungle Fury. In fact, I've only seen the first episode of Jungle Fury, and that was back in 2008 when it originally aired. And it's not that I didn't like the show at the time, I just didn't watch the rest of it. Now, I am currently in the process of watching every Power Rangers season, and have just recently finished Operation Overdrive, and believe me, I will probably rip into that season in the near future. But for the time being, my knowledge on Jungle Fury is sorely lacking, so I apologize if I make any negative comments because of that during this review. Anyway, now that I got that disclaimer out of the way, let's move on to episode 6, shall we? The episode opens with all the Rangers hanging out at the zoo, and while checking out the tiger exhibit, notice a zookeeper cleaning the habitat with the tiger inside. Noah comments how it's like he's one with the tiger before the Rangers continue spending the day at the zoo.
Hey, did you know tigers are the only cat that love water?
Yes, they can swim up to 6 miles.
Tigers are also the biggest species in the cat family. Even bigger than a lion.
Got that right.
Did you know a great white shark can smell blood a mile away?
Did you know that cheetahs can run up to 70 miles per hour?
Yeah, but for only like 3 seconds.
You want mine? Sure. Can you hold this? Thanks. Cool logo.
In space, Argus introduces the prince to a new commander named Pechachomic, who is a master of hand-to-hand combat and has never been defeated, so Vakar sends him to eliminate the Rangers. The next day, Jake and Emma head to Ernie's after school and have a conversation about Gio, with Jake straight up asking Emma if she thinks he has a shot with Gia. Before she can answer, Emma recognizes the zookeeper from earlier and notices his uniform, asking if he teaches Kung Fu. The zookeeper says he specializes in hand-to-hand combat, comparing it to the way animals fight, and introduces himself as Casey. Before their conversation can go on longer, Jake and Emma are called in to deal with an alien attack and join the others who meet Pechachomic already morphed and go super before taking on X-Borgs. After the X-Borgs are defeated, the Rangers try to fight Pechachomic, but he takes away their sabers and blasters before beating down Jake and Emma. In response to this, Troy, Gia, and Noah gain wild access, and after a quick fight, force Pechachomic to retreat. Back in space, Prince Vakar yells at Pechachomic for running away, but Lavira says she knows how to amp up his combat power. Back with the Rangers, Troy is angry that Pechachomic was able to take away their weapons and says that it's their fault because they let go of them, stating that a Ranger never lets go of his weapon before leaving with Noah and Gia. Jake says that Troy is right, but that they should figure out how to fight without using weapons, which leads him and Emma to the zoo, where they ask Casey if he can teach them his fighting style. After putting them through a test, Casey agrees, telling them to meet him in the park at dawn, where he begins teaching them martial arts. During the lesson, Casey says that Jake has the spirit of the snake and Emma the spirit of the phoenix, saying that he has been trained to see their animal spirits. Back at the school, Gia finds Noah in the computer room, who says he has spent the whole night searching through the Ranger database for a weapon they could use to fight Pechachomic.
What are you guys doing here? Class is about to start.
Noah's been here all night researching the legendary database for new weapons.
Look, I wanted to figure out a weapon we could use against that monster. Maybe there's a weapon he can't suck away because it's made out of a different alloy. So next time...
Stop it. I told you, a Ranger never lets go of his weapon. Next time, we just won't let go. That's all there is to it.
Come on, class is about to start soon.
Yeah, but I had some cool stuff I wanted to show you guys.
We can come back later.
Alright, let me turn this off.
Hey, wait a second. That logo.
What?
That logo, I've seen it before.
That's interesting. It's from the Order of the Claw. It was a group of Rangers that believed inside of everyone is an animal spirit.
What else does it say?
The Order of the Claw discovered that with proper training, you can unleash your inner animal spirit and become a fearsome warrior.
Jake and Emma, meanwhile, tap into their animal spirits just as Pechachomic attacks the city again. Troy, Noah, and Gia are called in to deal with the situation and morph into Super Mega Mode to fight the monster. Pechachomic tries to take the Rangers' weapons again, but they are able to hold their grip and knock the monster back. The Rangers then decide to fight Pechachomic in hand-to-hand combat, but he uses the new attack Lavira gave him to take the Rangers down. At that point, Jake and Emma hear their morphers go off, and Casey reveals his identity as Jungle Fury Red Ranger before telling the two to join the fight. When Jake and Emma arrive on the scene, they go super and begin fighting, but even with their new skills, Pechachomic beats them down. The Rangers then unleash Jungle Fury, and using Casey's training are able to get the upper hand and finish Pechachomic with their blasters. Lavira causes Pechachomic to grow, so the Rangers call in the legendary Megazord, and when Casey grants them the power of Jungle Fury, they use it to defeat Pechachomic. After the fight, the team goes to the zoo and talk about all their former Rangers they've come across, Troy saying that they are part of a legacy. While talking with the zookeeper, the group is told that no one named Casey has ever worked there, and the episode ends with Troy saying that he learned how to trust his team more as Jake and Emma notice a vanishing Casey behind him. Initially, I thought this episode was a bit lackluster since I didn't know a lot about Jungle Fury and thus couldn't enjoy it as much as other episodes, but after a couple of repeat viewings, I gotta say I like a lot of what this episode tries to accomplish. First off, like Blue Saber Saga, this episode has some great interactions between the Rangers as characters. It was a really good idea to have Jake spend more time with Emma and Gia interact with Noah since it actually fleshes out their characters a bit more. I especially like the scene with Noah and Gia sharing animal knowledge since it shows how smart Gia can be, and it was nice to see how Jake and Emma played off each other. Jake asking Emma if he has a shot with Gia did really make it feel like the show is actually moving forward with their relationship and that it's not just having quick little nods that feel out of place. As someone who has lost hope that Jake and Gia will ever get their own character-focused episodes, this is probably the closest thing we're gonna get, and if that's the case, I thought it really worked. Now, at first I was thrown off by seeing Troy get angry about the Rangers losing their weapons to Petrocharmix since it seemed to come out of nowhere, but the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. Thinking back on it, this Ranger team is more accustomed to using their weapons in battle than earlier teams, with them always having their mega weapons at the ready last season. And even when they morphed into MMPR last episode, they opted for using their power weapons even though we know they can fight without them, so I totally get why Troy is mad through most of this episode since this is something that has never happened before. In fact, the only thing I didn't like about this episode is how the moment of Troy saying how he learned to trust Seymour is completely stepped on by Jake and Emma at the end. The last thing I'm going to talk about for this review is my theory on all these returning Rangers. Remember back in my episode 1 review when I said that past Ranger teams were probably also fighting off the Armada? Well, I think that is still the case given how both Casey and Jaden interact with the current team. Both of the characters act very mysterious around the new team, who they know are Rangers, and isn't it weird how they both seem to disappear at certain points in their respective episodes? I also find it interesting that Gia has yet to meet a legendary Ranger in person, and that the Rangers don't introduce themselves until they feel the team is ready. I believe that, like Troy said, this is all part of a bigger plan set up by someone who wants to keep tabs on the Mega Rangers behind the scenes. And it will most likely lead into the big Legend War since I know Casey is one of the Rangers who will be returning. But, again, this is merely speculation at this point. Overall, this is a pretty good episode that has something for every character to do and doesn't rely on nostalgia for you to enjoy it. I'm Nick, aka IronBat1993, and may the power protect you.